going on, guys? This is Bruce Matson, your host of the show, Metric Scout Fantasy Football, the show where we talk about all things fantasy football, all of it. I'm talking about from Devy to redraft, back to Dynasty, all the way to campus to Canton, all of it. If that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, tell your homies, help me out on the algorithm, yo. But today, I'm going to be talking about Treylon Burks, wide receiver from Arkansas. And I'm getting back into Devy. I'm niching down for you guys, getting you ready for that college football season, getting you ready for those 2022 rookie drafts. And Treylon Burks is another guy that he's pretty high up in the Devy scene. Like, a lot of guys like him. But he's falling under the radar, too. Like, he's going unnoticed by big media. And that's mainly because he's playing for Arkansas. No one's really paying attention to them. But he is a big-time prospect. And he was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school. 247 Sports had him ranked as the 11th receiver coming out. He's a multi-sport athlete back then, playing both baseball and basketball. During his high school career, he caught 151 passes for 3,403 yards and 43 touchdowns, so he was a mega producer. One thing to note, his grandfather was an Arkansas fan. Arkansas runs through the bloodlines. Going into the beginning of his collegiate career, he has been a baller. And during his freshman season, true freshman year, he had a 20% market share at age 19. Productive. And then he followed that production this year with a 34% market share of Arkansas's passing production at age 20. This is his sophomore year in 2020, which was solid. He turned 21 in March, which means he'll be 22 when he comes out for the draft. So he won't be the youngest prospect, but the things that we like from his metric profile already is that he has an early breakout age 19, and he has steady production that's been increasing. The one thing that we need in this 2021 season is that he continues to produce. Hopefully he produces more. Hopefully he eclipses the 1,000-yard mark. He would have this year if we had a regular season where Arkansas played a regular amount of games. If they had the offseason schedule, he would have hit that 1,000-yard mark pretty easily. He had 4 games of 100 yards receiving against Georgia, Mississippi, Texas A&M, and Missouri. So he's been able to produce. He's a yards after catch machine. 378 yards after the catch, 2.6 yards after the catch per reception, and highly efficient with 3.07 yards per route run on average. So he makes it count whenever he's on the field. He has 12 targets that went for 20 yards or more, and that's because he's the team's main deep threat. And one of the reasons why he's the team's main deep threat is because he's a big guy. He's listed at 6'3", 225 pounds. As we know from the pro days this year, those numbers get a little sketchy. Rashad Bateman. But from tape, from film, from even his pictures, you know he's a big guy. He's tall and thick. His size, tall and thick. That's all you need to know. He's listed at 6'3", 225. He could be 230. He could be more. He could be 222. He could be 6'1.5" for all we know. But he's tall and thick. He's got length, and he's also got speed to burn. He's not a burner. He's not an elite level speed guy. He's not going to wow us with a 4.2 40-yard dash, but he's like in the 4.4 range, 4.4-ish. Around there, but I guarantee you when he comes out for the combine, pro day, or whatever we're doing next year, he'll be a 90th percentile size adjusted athlete. He's got the speed, he's got the burst, and you notice it on tape, and you're going to notice it when he runs next year. He's nasty after the catch. He's strong. He plays strong. He knows he's bigger than the DBs he's playing against. He's got a solid stiff arm. He stiff arms guys all the way to the ground. He's just a tough player, and he'll drag defenders too. He's also used in the punt return game, and even when he's catching punts, the ball just looks different when he hits his hands. He has hands the size of tennis rackets, like Brock Lesnar type hands. They even have to give him special gloves, like make special gloves for him to fit his hands. They're that size, and And that allows him to reel in tough catches. He might have the best hands in college football from that aspect. Reeling in tough catches, making those highlight, circus-like catches look routine. The big hands assist with that. They're strong too. You can tell whenever a ball's hitting his hands that he's going to reel it in. It just looks different when he hits his mitts. I've seen him make one-handed catches, like quick grab and goes, and he makes it look effortless, like he's just meant to do it. And you don't see wide receivers do that so easily and so often, and he can do that. And it doesn't matter if guys are draped on him, and it doesn't matter how many. It could be 2, 3. He's going to get in position to catch the ball. He has excellent ball skills. He can read the ball in the air almost perfectly. He has good timing, and it doesn't matter. He's going to make the play. When it comes to route running, he does a very good job at using his body to manipulate space to create separation from defenders. He knows where to go on the field on his routes. He knows how to use his size. He's very fluid. He's very fluid for his size. He's got a lot of burst. They're very quick, very deceptively quick and fast, to where if the DBs are not on point, he's going to gain enough situation to get that target. He's going to reel it in, and it's going to be an easy catch for him. I have no qualms about his route running. Once I deep dive him more on tape, when he starts coming out for the draft, I'll be able to go into the finer nuances. But from what I've seen, that's not an issue. And how he wins on the field is with speed, size, contested catch ability, strength, and just overall just sheer aggressiveness at the catch point. He's a very aggressive player. You can tell he takes pride in that. Just the way he holds himself while he's on the field. He is a baller. He knows it. He shells out for every play. He makes every play count. And that's the type of guy you get. This guy has a lot of dog in him. He's going to do whatever he can to make the play happen. When we come looking at his value in Devy ADP, he's a consistent first-round prospect, and he's getting drafted around guys or behind usually these guys, Garrett Wilson, David Bell, and George Pickens. George Pickens, that might change due to him having the ACL injury. I hope people start bumping Burks up there. But David Bell, Garrett Wilson, they're consistently going ahead of him. It makes sense. Those guys are very good prospects. I think Burks is being a little undersold in that aspect because he could easily be the wide receiver 1 in college football next year. And I say easily because he has something that we haven't had in a lot of drafts, and this is a big wide receiver who moves well, who can get downfield, make contested catches. Think about this year's draft. We have a lot of smaller, shiftier wide receivers. Probably the big guy in this class is Seth Williams, but he does not move like Treylon Burks. He doesn't move like that. He doesn't have the contested catch ability like him, and he's just a different athlete. Burks is a top-tier level prospect. We have the early production. We have the athleticism that we're seeing on tape right now. We have elite-level highlight films, tape, from what he's doing at the catch point. And no one's going to debate you on that. There's little nuanced things that I can see crop up. When it comes time for him to come out for the draft, for draft season, I can see debates. All in all, he's a solid player. He's strong at the catch point. There's multiple different ways he can win, whether it's after the catch, with speed, or when the ball's in the air. And that's something you want to look at in a wide receiver. Are they a multifaceted player? Can they win in different ways? Where can they win? And he wins in ways that will allow him to excel at the NFL level, especially after the catch with his size. Due to him being a bigger wide receiver with speed to burn, he will give us something that we haven't had in these last couple of years. NFL teams are going to notice that. That's something they're going to be willing to pay up for. A 6'3" wide receiver who can stretch the field, who can make highlight reel plays. We're talking about that DK Metcalf size, AJ Brown size, that type of athlete. If you want to make comparisons and stuff, I've seen like Andre Johnson floating around for him, maybe some Terrell Owens, like a bigger player that can get downfield, that can make plays happen. That's what you're getting with Treylon Burks. NFL teams are going to pay up for that. He could go in the first round. He could go in the second. It really depends on how well he does this year in 2021. But I don't see why he couldn't be very productive and continue to do what he's doing. And he should be a bona fide first-round pick in Devy drafts. Everybody should be doing whatever they can to get him. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're sitting here next year in 2021 when it comes to our rookie drafts and we have him etched in stone as the wide receiver 1. I'm guaranteeing you, though, that when it comes for that next spring, that there's going to be a lot of debates about the top end of the wide receiver class next year. I want to thank you for watching the show. If you stuck around this long, you might as well hit that subscribe button. I must have kept you entertained somehow, some way. Hit that like, ring the bell, and I'll catch you next time.